Want a flood of five-star reviews and referrals coming in without spending a dime on marketing? It all starts with the first 24 hours after they say yes. I'm breaking down the onboarding system that keeps clients happy, projects smooth, and your reputation untouchable. All right, so how to wow your clients and systemize success from day one. You're in for a treat here, presented by myself, Derek Isaac with the Rap Result Creators. So we are going to be going through some fantastic information about how to improve one of the most important systems in your business for your clients. Why am I sharing this with you today? I'm a business systems coach. It's what we do. I've implemented this systems, these processes in my own business, made a world of difference, as well as lots of other contractors, client of ours who this really sets the stage for the really great client experience that will get you five-star reviews, that will get them referring you, and will set up your projects for success, make sure everything's going to run smoothly. So what you're going to get with watching this video is a step-by-step client onboarding framework, sharing with you a full framework so that you can get out and do more fishing and enjoy your life instead of, worrying about admin stuff or upset clients or clients hounding you with calls about how to do this or why did this happen, all those kind of things. So why does this matter? It's going to save you time, admin time, like I mentioned. It's going to reduce rework, so just less having to redo stuff, and it's going to really delight your clients. At the end of the day, if the clients are happy, your business is going to grow and your reputation is going to improve. So I want to start with the end in mind. What are we going for here? And what I want you to imagine is clients are organized, they know what's happening, they're happy, they're educated on what they should know about a construction project. A lot of clients coming into a construction project on the residential side don't have any clue or idea of how things actually happen, how to work with the GC, all of this kind of stuff. If you've got more commercial stuff type clients, this is still really helpful because it's going to let them know how you operate as a business, and it's going to give you a really professional look and feel to your business from day one so that you build that trust, you build that respect right out of the gate. And before we jump into the content, I just want to let you know in the description below, if you want to learn how to systemize your business, there's a link to get a free masterclass on how to systemize general contracting business. So go click that link, get the free masterclass. It is really valuable information to build out the systems of your business. So what's the question we should be asking ourselves about onboarding new clients? What's the big thing? How can every client get a world-class experience? You don't have to be a super high-end luxury builder. Every client who comes through, no matter what level of service or what type of builds you're doing, they should get a world-class experience. And by having the right system and process in place, you can provide that for them. It is not overly difficult, but there's a certain way to do it to make it effective. And that's what we're going to be going through today. So first things first is generally the trigger for like this process to start is when a client signs the PCSA pre-construction agreement, or if you move straight into construction, then whenever that first amount of money is exchanged is typically when this process would start. So if they've signed the agreement, that's the trigger. Now, in the first 24 hours, you've got to make sure that they are set up in your system and that all the admin stuff is taken care of and you're sending them an email right away. There's no worse feeling for a client than to just sign up for thousands, tens of thousands, maybe $1 million of work or contracts and then not hear from somebody or not really know what they should be doing for the next steps. So that's got to be very clear, and that's what your process should be taken care of. So what's key to the admin tasks? What your admin person, or if it's still you'd be taking care of. The first thing is in your CRM, you want to update the pipeline stage. So this should be, this is no longer a lead or a potential client. This is now a client. So we need to update the stage in the pipeline. From there, you need to get paid. You want to get money out of the way as soon as possible. This could be done with the welcome email, which I'm going to be sharing in a second, but however you do it, this needs to go out right away to a new customer. You're gonna get them set up in your accounting software, and you're gonna send them an invoice. I prefer QuickBooks Online. Like a lot of contractors out there, it doesn't really matter which one you use, but their information should go into there. And a lot of this admin stuff, there's certain things that someone will need to take action on, but a lot of it can be more or less automated and templated so that it's very easy, very quick. Like I said, first 24 hours for sure this should be going out. From there, you're going to copy your project template and dashboard. I'm running through the steps here. I'm going to show you a sneak peek at the specific templated SOP that we build out for clients that will go through exactly how our SOP is structured so that you can give this to an admin person, they can run with it, and your client gets that amazing experience. So whatever sort of project management field software you're using, you're going to set up a new project, new job, whatever you want to call it, inside the software. And this should be a templated job with your checklist, with your schedule, with, pulled from the estimate or whatever. A lot of that should already be built out. So it's very easy. You start a job and then you set up their dashboard. If you're not using dashboards yet, don't worry about it. I'm going to be going through a bunch of stuff like the ideal situation. The big thing is get this process in place, like just get the steps and make a checklist of what needs to get done when a new client gets onboarded with the company. And just follow your existing process. Don't worry about adding all this other stuff. Get your process, however you do it right now, just get it like documented and detailed out of it. And then you can add things in. So dashboards are great. You send it to the client. Now the client can see the schedule, they can see the pertinent items, they can get notifications. They don't have to be calling you, all hours of the day, wondering like what's going on with their project. So that gets set up. From there, you now need to set up their client folders, files, and photos. So you'll have a folder somewhere. I like Google Drive. That's what I would prefer because it's very easy to share and you can set permissions and all that kind of stuff, with sharing and stuff like that, who gets access. You can also have this in your project management software if you want, but either way, you're going to set up a templated folder. And if you want to know how to set up a file management system, I've got another video on our YouTube channel. Just go search, Google Drive, I think, file management, something like that. And it'll walk you through exactly how to set up the folders for new clients so that you are very organized and every client has a folder, has subfolders with all the different key information. And it's just a really great way to stay organized and have your whole team know where the information is for the client, as well as sharing it with the client if you want to give them access as well. So once you have all that sort of admin stuff set up, now we move into like the client facing side of it, which is going to be in a second here. I'm going to go in through like how do we actually, onboard the actual client face to face. But you're going to send a welcome email. And the welcome email, I'm going to show you the template later, is going to be specifically, welcome, so excited, have you as a client. Here's all the different things. We need you to start figuring out selections. Here's our what to expect document so you know what you can expect from the building. Here's your access login details to our dashboard software or whatever, right? So it's going to have like one welcome email with all the different like easy to follow steps and ways they can get access and what they should know, next steps and all that stuff. And it's just going to show like, wow, these guys are on point. Like they know what's happening. I know what's happening. This is awesome, right? So you want to give that wow factor right out of the gate, that you are communicating with them and that they're going to get an amazing experience building with you. So making sense here? If there's anything in here that you feel needs to be expanded on or you have questions about, I wasn't clear about, drop a comment below. I will comment, or let me know what your onboarding process is like or what you need help with. Drop a comment. I will reply. I will help you with it. Guaranteed. So first impressions that win referrals, that's what we're going for. We want amazing client experience. First off, just a good working relationship. But at the end of the day, we need those reviews. We need those referrals to grow and expand the business. And what you need to be doing as far as the client facing side of it is after you send that welcome email, follow up, I would say a day after. So within the first 24 hours of them signing the pre-con agreement or construction agreement, you'll send them that welcome email. And then the day after, you or your admin person, project manager, whoever's responsible for it, will give them a call and just say, hey, did you get the email? Any questions? Make sure they're there supporting them and that they don't have to go looking for you. You are proactively reaching out to them. Now, the kind of like a bonus tip here is if you really want to go above and beyond, create a walkthrough video of your dashboard or what they should be knowing about. And you could send it in that first email or even just, have it on their dashboard. But you yourself, ideally as the business owner, walking through of like, this is what your dashboard looks like. This is where you go and find your files in Google Drive or whatever, right? So just kind of giving them like a visual representation and you can just say like, hey, welcome to the company. We're so excited to be working with you. I'm going to walk you through a few of the things to access the different stuff. This is your selections document where you get selections and all this kind of stuff, right? So create a little quick video. It just gives it that extra, cherry on top as far as the service and the flavor of your business for the client. All right. So after you followed up with them for that, Part of that email is going to be the what to expect document. This is one of the most critical documents of your business for the client facing side of it. You're going to outline in the what to expect document all the different things that they should know about and what they can expect for the build. And this gets a lot of the stuff just out in the open, out in the air, and educates them and just solves so many problems ahead of time so they don't have to ask you about it later. It changes your world. It's such a good document, especially when you got to fine tune. Of course, we've got templates and all this stuff built out. If you're interested in working with us and getting access to this kind of stuff, reach out to us. Again, figure out the links in the description there. So in the what to expect document, the big kind of components, just to give you a quick overview, is like, again, a little bit of a welcome thing. You're going to walk them through what they can expect during construction. So it's going to be noisy. It's going to be dusty. There's guys going to be showing up between these times. Make sure you make times. And some of the really key thing is let the client know ahead of time that you are not available outside of certain time windows. So between 7 to 6, I will answer my phone. I'll do my best to communicate with you. Outside of those times, I'm with my family. I've got my own personal time. I've got to maintain my sanity outside of work as well. And you can put that in your what to expect document so that it's not going to guarantee that they won't call you at 9 p.m. on a Friday for whatever reason. But at least you've expressed to them that you're not going to answer the phone. They can leave a voicemail. Best thing to do is send you an email if it's something that they want to, just they remembered something and wanted to communicate it with you. If it's emergency, call the police, call the firefighter, call your lawyer, whatever it is. But, you're not the firefighter to put out their fire. Most everything can wait until the next day, or they can call you with inside normal working business hours. So put that in the what to expect document. How they pay you, how you invoice, that's very important too, what your expectations are around there. It's not just what to expect like for them, it's what you expect of them and also what they can expect of you. So there's two-way street there. All right, so that's a huge key component. After you kind of sent them that information, then you want to set up a pre-construction meeting as soon as possible to introduce them to the project manager, the designer, whoever else they may be communicating with for their project, just to have like a team meeting to make sure that everything is clear, everyone knows the next steps, they understand what's going on. And ideally, you as the business owner, depending on the size of your business, you're going to not be in that meeting. You probably will be helping them through the sales process. Maybe you are in that meeting to do like a quick handoff and just like introduce, like, here's our designer, here's our project manager. They're going to walk you through your project. You're going to be communicating with them, mostly with the designer through the selection process and designing and all that stuff. And then the project manager for the estimating, scheduling, pre-construction side of things. And then moving into construction, you'll be seeing a lot of the project manager every day, checking on your sites and stuff like that, right? So you'll set up that meeting and that'll give them an amazing experience right off the bat, give them that face time that they're looking for. Just making sense. Can you see how it's maybe not super different than what you're doing, but by having this detailed and worked out, you can ensure that every single client is getting a similar experience. And the beauty of having a process like this and a system is that now you can start to improve it, because maybe you'll go through it and you're like, you know what, this kind of seems out of place, or maybe we should add this. And you can start to build and mold and build your business off of it, instead of just like having this sort of loose expectation of like, yeah, we get on a call with them, we'll send them an email. No, it needs to be really straightforward and built out. All right. So at the end of the day, what does your client want to feel? What do you want your clients to feel from you? Do they feel that you're professional? I hope so. Do they feel you're organized? Yes, if you go through all this and have all your I's dotted, T's crossed for the onboarding, they'll think you're organized. They believe you're on top of your project. If you've gone all through this and you've done that team meeting, they will believe that you are definitely on top of your game and that they made the right choice by choosing you to go ahead with their construction. That's what we want. We don't want that buyer's remorse, because with that whole pre-construction agreement, we want that to, like, you've got to just nail it right out of the gate, because you're looking for that bigger pie of like actually moving into the construction. So this onboarding process through the pre-construction phase has to be amazing. Wow. Can't believe how organized these guys are. This is incredible. I'm so happy I'm doing business with them. And they're, you're just going to carry that momentum into the project throughout the pre-construction planning, as well as into the actual construction part of it. So as promised, it's time for the action part. So I've given you all the information as far as like how to think about it. Now it's the action. Have fun, get it done. You need to build out an SOP, some sort of document that outlines all of this, so you can start training your admin person and running this with your team. This is your playbook. Before I get into that, I just want to mention free systems masterclass. Don't miss out on it. Go get the masterclass. If you have not watched it yet, you need to watch this because it'll help you systemize your business. It is a valuable asset to you. Go get signed up, link in the description. And now I'm going to be jumping into the new client onboarding SOP, giving you a sneak peek of what it actually looks like. All right, so here we got our SOP document, new client onboarding, and we've also got a post project. I like to put it together. For me, my SOPs, I don't like to have a bunch of little SOPs for just one or two parts of a business. I want it to be like one big function of a business. So this is the client onboarding and post project. You're going to have a bit of requirements and resources. It just outlines who's it for, what software is going to be needed, any extra links to like training or anything you can link to this video if you want for training purposes so people understand, what they should be doing. Competency expectations. So this is really important. What do you expect like is from your team to be able to do this? Is, onboarding to-do list, all these items should be done in 2 days, 24 hours, 1 hour, if you're a hard ass and really want to make them work. So what's the expectation, as far as quality, as far as time, as far as communication, all that stuff? Be very clear with it, be explicit with it. Pre-construction contract and payment. So this kind of runs through the pre-construction contract side of things. So after they've agreed, yeah, we'll sign the PCSA or whatever. What happens? Do we send them the document? Which program do we use? What are the steps? Do we send them, invoice through QuickBooks, whatever? So outline all of that. Then you've got the onboarding pre-project. This is how, whichever project management software you're using, you're going to have the onboarding steps here. How do you set up a new job from a template or whatever project? How do you set up the schedule, client dashboard? How do you build out the dashboard, set that up? And then the welcome email, how do they send the email? What do they need to know about it? All that stuff. And then you'll have the templated email right in the document. So your SOP is not just the process. If you've got templated emails, if you've got checklists like quality control checklists or client onboarding checklists, put that in the actual document. Yeah, those checklists are going to be in your project management software or your, whatever to-do list type software you may have. But the standard template should be in your SOP. Super easy. Everyone can find it and use it. So welcome email. Welcome to the company. You're amazing. You're the best client ever. What to expect during construction. Go read this document. And you put the link in there for them to do that. Client selections. You need to start doing selections. Our designer is going to work with you. Or if it's, if you're just doing small remodels and they want to do it themselves, you do you. But you should have some sort of document so that you can keep track of it and stay organized, whether they're doing it or you're doing it. That needs to be discussed as well. And then I like to send a project upgrades checklist. So for a home build, a lot of clients aren't really going to think about or know about soundproofing walls or, having upgraded detectors in their home for carbon monoxide or whatever. It could be any number of things or astronomical timers for outdoor lighting, like that kind of stuff. They're not going to probably think about. So have a list of all these things that may not be standard. And when you're budgeting the project, you probably don't want to necessarily have like all this special kind of extra stuff because to them it's going to be like, wow, this is getting expensive, right? But after you've kind of given them that initial budget, you can show them these things and be like, here's all these upgrades that you could think about if you want to add some, additional things. And we found that clients who do utilize some of these upgrades, the extra cost is maybe, an extra 5% in the project, but the experience that they have and the happiness that they have afterwards is much greater because they've got some of these special sort of upgrades, heated in-floor heating and stuff like that, right? So send them that. Just another little caveat that I didn't mention before on the what to expect document, you are going to have in there how they should refer you to other clients. That is very, very important because a lot of business owners, contractors, general contractors, we think that we kind of have to wait until the end of the project to ask for a referral, when in fact you should be asking for a referral, multiple times throughout a project. And the what to expect document gives them that first little in the back of their head, like, oh, I could refer them to somebody else, right? So in the what to expect document, we want to put in there, if you have friends, family, someone that you think would be a good fit for our services or is thinking about building a home or whatever, what you can do is just copy this email or send them an email and just introduce us. That we found is the best thing. Or give me a call and let me know that your friend is possibly thinking about it so we can talk about it over the phone. Whatever it may be, you want to make it as easy as possible for your client to refer people. So have that in the what to expect document and then give them like easy to follow steps of like if you're thinking of referring someone or you have someone you think you know, this is what you need to do. So it's just like super easy for them. All right, so that's pretty much it for the client onboarding SOP. It's not a huge document. This gets built out. This is a template, so obviously you're going to have like a lot more steps, especially when you start adding software like steps in there. But this is pretty much it. You're on your way to 5-star reviews, amazing, wow, client experience, and lots of referrals. I'll see you on the next video.